Hi, I'm Andre Faust. Well, today I'm going to talk about ATCON, the ATCON story. Well, whoopee shit, there isn't anything new here, nothing that we don't know anything about. Let me think here. So what's all the fuss all about anyway? Why? Are we getting, so concerned at this stage of the game about ATCON? Well, maybe it might have to do that it's an election year, and well, politics is a funny game, right? But we're looking at a dead horse here. I mean, this thing happened in 2009, and what happened? Well, the consequence for the Liberal government, they lost their election. The Conservatives come in, and they got voted out, and then the Liberals are back in. Now we're bringing a dead horse to rehamper. We have to rehamper it. So what does this all mean? Well, what it all means in 2017, going into 2018 is, look, people, suck it up. I mean, we lost that money. I mean, it's gone. The only winners that came out of that were the banks. They recuperated 80+%, while the taxpayers only recuperated 4% of that. But that is a dead horse. Now, with corporations, you've got to understand how the business model works, politics, the banking system, all how that works. It's all interrelated. So usually how corporations hold governments at bay, they look at an economically deprived area, such as the Miramichi and as what ATCON has done. They make these great promises to the government that if they can get all this corporate welfare, that they'll either be able to maintain existing jobs or create new jobs. That's the sales pitch every time, right? It never fails. It's always one of the two. But at the end of the day, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs that are maintained? Gone. Like the Atkins story, they're gone. So hard-working Canadians, hard-working New Brunswickers has shoved out of their pocket their tax dollars to support these welfare bums. And what's interesting, these promises are made, and the government reacts to it because if they succeed, they're winners, right? I mean, that'll get them another election. They can say, "Wow, we created X numbers of jobs for our people." Hey, that makes sense. But there's a big risk factor, right? If they lose out, they'll experience what the Liberals experienced. They get voted out of office. But that's the gamble element, right? But, it's like putting your hand on a burner, on a stove, right? When do you learn the lesson not to put your hand on? Because this thing, the way these corporations and banks have been doing things with government, is nothing new. We can look, 20, 30 years, 40 years, and the same game's been played over and over and over. But nothing has changed. People still get screwed in the end. I've got to bring up at this point here. It's a report by the Fraser Institute, one of the most ultra-conservative institutions, think tank in Canada. And I'm going to read the script so I get it right, to what they actually said, And this has to do with corporations on how they milk government for everything they are. And like ATCON, they're playing the same game, right? Nothing new, nothing, exciting there, the same old routine. So in a report presented by Canada's conservative think tank, the Fraser Institute, they reported that over a period of 20 years, the federal, provincial, and local authorities together spent almost $684 billion on subsidies, mainly to the private sectors. And the impact on consumers was marginal at best. I mean, this is the Fraser Institute is about as conservative as you can get, and they've come up with that. The other thing you also have to look at when you're looking at these corporations and banks and all that system is that they're always the winners. They win every time. That figure of $684 billion doesn't include the tax breaks and those kind of little perks that go along if you're a business. It's just one of those kind of things. Now, let's turn the hands of the clock back a bit to around 2009, right? The recession is going full swing, and that ATCON comes in and makes these grandiose promises to help the Miramichi area. Well, we know they took the money and run. But let's take a look at during the last recession, the Royal Bank of Canada, they boasted a record-breaking profits of $1.23 billion. That was during the recession. And the corporate executives at the same time gave themselves pay increases that equaled 150. They were paying themselves 155 times the amount than the average worker was getting. Interesting, right? While the rest of Canada is suffering, these guys are raking it. They've now used the government, because government is just a pawn on this chessboard, right? Because like I say, what they do, they use this, we maintain, give jobs. But it never happens. And here in New Brunswick, I mean, geez, the Liberals, create 1,000 jobs here, and then 1,000 jobs is lost over there. So we never can seem to get up and around of it. It's just one of those kind of things. But, coming back to ATCON at this late in the game, right? I mean, that game is over. The big boo-boo was made. The government took a chance. They paid their monies. They took their chances. They lost. So trying to rectify the ATCON error, trying to revive that horse, there is no CPR, that will ever bring that poor old horse back to life, So it's done. It's finished. What we need to pay attention to is what the current problems are, not what happened back in 2009. What we have to deal with is today's current economy. We have to take a look at the status of New Brunswick. Has government strategies increased our population? Has things remained the same? Are we having a decrease? Those are the things that we need to take a look at. We also need to take a look at the whole financial plan. Is it working? And this is the time to ask for it for this upcoming elections. Make those questions. Ask those questions. Get answers. Because that's what's going to be important. The days of the old school parties might be coming to an end. Because if they're so caught up in an old system that the corporations, dictate to government, where they spend their money, though if both the Conservatives and Liberals are caught in that mindset and can't break away from it, well, maybe in the next round of elections, maybe the results should be, rather than red and blue, that it should be purple or green or purple. The order doesn't matter. Maybe they have a solution. And if they can't provide a solution, what's the other options that are left? The French had it right. Bring out the guillotine. Thank you.